Now, a new book that is proof that age is just a number and you're never too old to make your dreams come true. The author is someone you certainly may know, and he says older folks are his jam. He put it all into a book called Roctogenarians. People know you from CBS Sunday Morning. People know you from Mobituaries, which is this brilliant thing that I listen to all the time when I'm taking my walks and learning things that I never knew about people who are no longer with us. But now, Mo, talk to us about Roctogenarians.
Well, Kristen, I wanted to to give people examples of people living now, people from the past who achieved great things late in life. A Roctogenarian is somebody who does not accept the conventional wisdom that the last third of life is a time for kind of winding things down, sort of, clocking out. So my co-author, John Greenberg, and I include everyone from Harlan Sanders, otherwise known as Colonel Sanders, whose empire really began when he was 66 years old. He was broke at that point, to Mr. Pickles, the Houston zoo tortoise, who became a first-time father at the age of 90. And you were impressed by Al Pacino when he had a kid at 83. He was just a kid.
He's got Pacino, he's got them all beat, all those old guys. I love the second line of the title, though. Late in life debuts, comebacks, and triumphs. And I think, to your point that you just made, so often we tend to think, well, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70. It is downhill from here. It is really inspirational to see that it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be heavy-handed here, but ageism is real, and it's really stupid because there are so many people with so much great talent and wisdom and experience. And if people just look at their age and say, oh, well, no, we can't use him or her in this capacity or give them a shot, it's just really bad for all of us. I mean, there's so much great human capital out there. And I have found, listen, old people are my jam. I'm just going to give it to you straight. I've been interviewing older people. I prefer interviewing older people because they have better stories. But one thing I've learned is that the older you get, the less you care about what other people think of you. And I think that that's really, really liberating. And I think it's no surprise then that there's so many people who late in life just went for it because they stopped worrying, what other people would say about them if they fail. I think they realized at that point in their life, what the heck, just go for it.
Is that the greatest lesson you've learned from all of this? Or is there something else that you're taking away from this saying, man, I didn't realize that writing this book was going to teach me this?
I think it taught me also that nostalgia is fine. And if you want in your later years to kind of look back and play a highlights reel of your greatest hits in your mind, that's absolutely fine. But fixating on the past is a really big mistake, as is fretting about the future. Another thing a lot of the people in this book have, whether it's Laura Ingalls Wilder, whose first Little House book was published when she was 65. Her life after her years on the prairie were really, really difficult. And it was her daughter who said, you had an amazing childhood. You've got to write this story down. And she finally did. But is that these people are living in the moment, in the present. They're not sitting there worrying about how little time they have left. And they're not fixating on the past. They're present-minded, which is, I know where I want to be. So I want to be just like them.
Now I do too, for sure. And you have this beautiful way of finding these stories that none of us expected. I did not know that about Laura Ingalls Wilder, and I was a Little House on the Prairie girl for sure. I have about a minute left with you. I want to pull a couple of the names out of the book and have you just kind of touch on them a little bit. Estelle Getty, who we all love from The Golden Girls.
Well, if you write a book like this, I think it's by law, you have to include at least one Golden Girl. We would have been run out of town if we didn't. Estelle Getty was the one. She had wanted to be an actress all of her life. She was pursuing it, married at 23, had 2 kids. Finally, when her kids went off to college, she could dedicate herself to it full time. At the age of 62, she made her television debut. She had toughed it out all those decades, taking tiny little parts in neighborhood plays. But then she made this big debut and is arguably one of the funniest characters on television in the last 40 years.
Your mother is also in this book.
My mother, she'll kill me if I tell you how old she is. I'll just say that she's 4 years shy of a very big birthday with 3 digits in it. My mother asked me to write about her life. She's an immigrant from Colombia. And I was very happy that she asked me to do this because there's nothing sadder to me than somebody who ends their life thinking that their story wasn't worth telling. All of our stories are worth telling. Frank McCourt, who wrote Angela's Ashes, struggled with that all of his life. His students, he was a high school English teacher, convinced him to write down his story. He did. Angela's Ashes, published when he was 66, was a global sensation. And he said later he would have died howling if he hadn't told his story. So tell your story to somebody, and better yet, make your story and make it exciting in the last third of your life.
Mo, we love you so much. Thank you so much for taking time to share a little bit about this book. I know people can get it wherever they buy their books, right? So they can go out and get it now.
And I narrate the audiobook. And Kristen, I tell you, my great ambition for the last third of my life is to get a more interesting Zoom background. And I know I can get there.
How about, better yet, you come to Charlotte and you hang out with us for the day?
I would love that. I would love that. Yes, the Speedway, the whole thing. I love Charlotte.
Come on down. We would love to have you. So let's make a plan. Next time we see you, it's here in our studios.
Oh, God, it's that fourth churn. Woo!
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you.